So we obviously have the Sinder situation. So what happened? Obviously, we got the VTuber Sinder. So if you don't know who that is, let's pull her up real quick. We'll pull up her account. She is the Hellhound Wolf VTuber Sinder. I guess she's not blocked me yet, so we're doing pretty good there. Doing pretty good there. Now she has issued an apology for all of this, although the apology does indeed deflect a lot of the responsibility onto onto her boyfriend / manager Redacted. But let's get into this document. Now this one was put together by Sparky in terms of the screenshots, but it's just screenshots. So all the screenshots are factual. So in terms of the way this is compiled, it's just me reading the screenshots, which are confirmed as real. So we'll get into that here. So we're going to go through this and kind of take a look at these screenshots. And these are allegedly in chronological order. So we're going to read some of this from beginning to end and see where it goes. And I will skim through some of it. So Redacted says, then like a month later, unfollowed her on Twitter, started taking her ideas, Cinder's ideas like the flames. Now she's basically rebranded to more of a fire Cerebus, using fire emojis all the time. Never did that before. It's funny because she used to call herself a Hellhound, but stopped when Cinder grew past her and now uses Cerebus or Serapup or whatever her lore says. I don't know. The unfollow is weird. So a lot of this is, by the way, this is generally directed towards Silvervale. That's kind of out there. There was also unprovoked tweets from her, like, I didn't copy anyone else for my design. My design is all me. This is who I am. On random Cinder clips on YouTube, there was one dedicated, I'm assuming that's Silvervale fan, or someone she knew that would comment on these clips saying, like, when are you going to clip blank only Cinder on Cinder clips? And said, I think it's more wanting her to recognize Cinder, even though literally it doesn't matter. I feel like there's an unspoken competition between them. Like they need to one-up each other because, blank can't get along. But I understand the point of view. A new VTuber who people say looks, sounds, acts like you, and becomes just as successful as you in a year. If she didn't recognize Cinder as an equal or friend, then it would have been like she's endorsing her copy. They share a lot of the same audience. So okay. This is another thing too. In the VTubing world, there are only so many archetypes, right? And I have talked about the problem in VTubing is that how many shark or whale or dog or cat or whatever animal, there's a certain point at which, okay, you're going to be somewhat similar, right? If you are a cat girl VTuber, well, you can't say someone copies you because you have ears, right? Or you have a bell. And be like, I can only be the only cat VTuber with a belt. Well, no, that's ridiculous. That's a common trope, right? Obviously, cat VTubers are going to have that. So if you were trying to sue somebody under copyright or under some sort of trademark or intellectual property, you probably wouldn't win unless it was something very, very, very specific that they're trying to copy. Even for cockroaches, like you can't own cockroach. You can't be like, I am the only cockroach. You could have elements that are unique to you, but still, I don't think there's any actual legal substance. I think this is just chit chat. So I want to separate chit chat and talking. Look, Regina George is not guilty of all the crimes, although she did commit some crimes in Mean Girls. So just talking people behind their back isn't illegal. If it was, there'd be a lot of people arrested. Let's continue here. Redacted says, at the end of the day, isn't it about how much we make compared to her? We just want to recognize, hey, Cinder's a big VTuber. She got there on her own merits. She did just like you, so get along. And the marketing potential and money they could make if they teamed up, I just know anything we do, she's watching and will take from, oh my God, a figure was announced, no spinning figure. She has a debut Saturday. Everyone hears about it. Figure announced. Spinning figure on frame. Figure right next to it. Stream yesterday. First stream since Cinder's debut. Guess what? Spinning figure next to it. So we're talking about copying and people copying. That happens, guys. And listen, Here's another thing too I'm going to tell you guys, and this is going to piss a lot of people off, especially in the VTubing community. But I don't give a shit because my channel is about facts and not about feelings. And this is going to piss people off, really piss people off. You ready? Copying is not just legal. It's actually encouraged. Let me say this one more time. Copying what people do is not just legal, it's encouraged. A smart business looks at what other businesses are doing, and if it is successful, if it makes money, they do it. And they change it 5%. 5%. The 5% is important because you need to change it to be unique. You can't obviously steal people's intellectual property. But if you change it 5% and you steal it, that's good business. And it's completely legal and there's nothing they can do to stop you. And that's the evil lawyer, Andrew, right? That's telling you the evil lawyer. And I know a lot of people have a huge problem with that. A lot of people think it's immoral or whatever. Nope. That's exactly what happens in business. I'm sorry, guys, that's what happens. And here's actually what happens even worse. They steal it and they figure out how to do it for cheaper than you, so they undercut you. So they find out how you did it, they find out who you paid, and they negotiate a better contract with them because now you, the original person, has proven the success. So you're like, oh, we can sell even more if it's $1 cheaper. So they negotiate the contract down. So they sell the same thing for cheaper and they beat you out. That's how business works, guys. And that's just life. I work in an industry here where I will say, hey, I can help you with this visa for $100. And then somebody will say, I can do it for 75. And then somebody else say 50. I don't think that's evil. That just is the way it exists. And you cannot be mad about that. So the fact that they did that, I mean, you can be mad, but you can't legally do anything about it. So I guess this is Sacramore. Bao says, hi, I'm going to bed, but give me your rates and turnaround time for a video like the Bao experience. Me and my editors loved it. So here's saying, Silvervale. So this is saying, Sinder really loved meeting you and wanted to collab. So I told her to let you know, and I throw you guys in the group chat. Silvervale says, hello, I appreciate the sentiment, but I prefer not to do collabs. No worries. Hope you're having a great weekend. She says, oh, thanks. I've got lots of IRL stuff. Sorry for not interested in being collabs. I just like to do my own thing, but I'm always open to messages. I hope you had fun at the con. So she's by the way, Silvervale, very professional, very professional. She did exactly what I would say you should do in these situations, which is remain professional, remain nice, and just say things how they are, right? I mean, this is a fact, and she did it sweet, curt, to the point. Silvervale said hi, and Sinder said, hi, Silver. Sorry for getting back to you late. I've been sick from TwitchCon. Guess a lot of us got sick after the last couple parties. I hope you had a good time at your meet and greet. It was nice to see you there. But yeah, no worries. If you prefer not to stream together, my manager suggested something more like sponsorships, merch, music, and some of the kind of project together. Maybe Mythic could help with if needed. I'd love to chat more either way. And then says, no worries. It's been super hectic for everyone and busy. I hope you're feeling better. I'm really flattered by the persistence, but I'm not interested in transactional relationships with anybody. I hope you can understand. And honestly, once again, she lays it out what the reason is. She doesn't want to mix money. Cinder said, hey, Silver, I got your gamer sub stuff in the mail. It looks amazing. It's cute that we both have Nano's art on our merch because she is bar model. Okay, so now Nano's getting involved. Okay, let's see this. Okay, so here's where we have some issues. Silver, I have to cancel the model com. I'm sorry, my manager told me I have to cancel most comms for healthy purposes. I've been working too hard and getting into it. It's really getting into me. I really apologize for the inconvenience. Silvervale says, I was looking forward to it so much. I love your art so much, and I've been so excited for a new model from you. I understand, though. You have to prioritize your health and taking care of yourself. I hope your health improves and you feel better. Make sure to get a lot of rest and relaxation. Do you know if you'll be able to do it next year at all? Don't feel pressured. NanoLess says, I'm sorry, it hurts me a lot too. I just wish I could work on everything I could, but I believe I can still go for your model sometime next year. Silvervale says, that's okay. I know you have a ton on your plate, but can't imagine how stressful it must be. Do you think you can still do a gamer subs tub art? She says, oh yeah, illustrations are okay. So Redacted said, well, let's see if blank wants a nano model or not. I hope blank finds someone else. Then continues talking to Redacted, saying, it's about working with Sinder. My friends told me it's a bit unfair to stop other models, so I do more for Sinder, which I agree with them. I'm a free artist and I should do whatever I want to do. I don't take sides in any drama or situations. I will always have a way to open slots for Sinder, but I won't have her as my only customer. Okay, let me talk about this real quick. So let me talk about this. This is a really important point here. You can have exclusivity contracts. So it is possible for you to have what's called an exclusivity contract, meaning you are the exclusive vendor for somebody. So if you are a quote unquote free artist, you could sign an exclusivity contract with them. However, you better ask them for a ton of money. They better be paying you well in writing and it's signed, right? You can have that. That is possible. You can do that. And if you choose to do that, that's fine. But understand, you just gave yourself a boss. And if you want to be free, you really need multiple people. So if you have multiple people, then nobody can fire you. But if you go exclusive, they better pay you a lot. So Redacted says, I agree. You're a free artist. You should do what you want. But, and remember, whenever there's a statement with the but, ignore everything before the but and only read after the but. Because after the but is what people really mean. I was under the impression that taking on more Sinder work is what you wanted to do. I didn't think we were making you do it. So now he's kind of making a emotional, like there's like kind of the pushback here emotionally. Guess we've got a misunderstanding on both sides. It's more about this. And then, it talks about not to discredit any work, blah, blah, blah. And he says, oh, I see. I mean, what I said is still true about how we feel, but I wasn't saying you had to only do Sinder work. That's with anything, though, not just your work. If you have something special and then everyone wants and gets that thing, it makes it less special. I'm sorry you were under the impression we were trying to make you only do work for us. I will keep things more business, less talk, and less emotional. Just let me know how this will affect your schedule so I can tell Sinder after. Sorry for the stress, Nano. But every single model I do is unique. Exactly. That's a very good point. And I make them special in their own way. It's not like I'm selling Sinder to everyone. Please don't feel that way, which is true, right? Everyone's model is different. It says, no, I know you pour your heart and soul into your models. They're all incredible. I'm sorry I made you feel that way too. Redacted says, I'm sorry. It's okay, Nano. You're just making a living, a name for yourself and making a name for yourself. I can't blame you for accepting work for other big names in the industry and having very desirable talent. If you end up filling your model schedule again like it was, let me know. We'll have to replan some things depending on that. It says, thank you for understanding my side. We're all trying to have our names somewhere. Just don't take this personal or anything. I still love working with you guys. And again, apologize for trouble on your plans. I'll still visit my list and see what I got. Redacted gives the line, say it with me, chat. Business is business. There we go. There we go. There's the line. If you want to go through the projects we talked about and let me know which ones you want to do. Is this about the blank model, Nano? Yeah, I want to take it, but I don't want to disrespect Sinder. I just want to do pretty models, no hurt feelings. He goes, Nano, you are a freelance artist and a longtime client. And this person is a long-time client. So it makes sense to continue to work for. I understand the logistics. At the end of the day, you need to do what's best. I really appreciate you understanding. I understand your side too, but sadly, it's something between you two, not me. I shouldn't get involved in this fight. I go Art Burr. Right, I know. I just didn't think our other conversation sounded like it was trying to make you not work for her in a model, like blank specifically. So now is when we're getting towards more tortious interference, because when you're starting to be more specific, and you're talking about existing agreements. By the way, a lot of people think a contract has to be some sort of formal contract. It does not. It can be just an understanding based on a conversation. So when you put that conversation together, that is something that is relevant, right? So now we have redacted encouraging termination of a contract with BAO. This is tortious interference with contracts. You shouldn't be. She has so many connections, she'll find someone super fast. Did you already design her outfit? I remember showing it to her at WeebCon. Yes, I can give her the design for free as an apology gift. Don't sell yourself short. I think she'll be fine with taking the design and finding someone else. I wouldn't offer it for free, maybe half the price if she starts shit. Yeah, you're right. I'll talk to her. We'll also close the model inquiry opening. That was a mistake. Tortious interference. And here's the other thing too. People are trying to say, oh, well, Sinder didn't say it. Here's what I've been saying in the VTuber community for over a year. And here's the thing that nobody's been listening to me on. And I'm going to call it out right now because this is the reason why Sinder is 100% implicated. Because this is the manager. And when you call somebody a manager, you are giving them agency and authority. So any action a manager takes is as if it is an extension of the VTuber. The manager is your agent. That is your action. You are responsible for that. So everything Redacted does, Sinder is 100% legally on the line for. 100% legally through, somebody said in the chat, vicarious liability. They are a representation of you. Legally, this is why people are idiots for calling these people managers. I'm sorry, they're on the fucking line. Under US law. Under US law. Okay? Now that's me talking about US law. I don't know if any of these people are out of the US or if they're in Japan. I'm talking about US law. Let me be very clear. Right? 100% on the line. Let me say that one more time. Sinder is liable legally for everything Redacted did. Whether or not she feels that way, whether or not she gaslights them, whether or not she, whatever act she was doing as a girlfriend, none of that's relevant. Legally, as a manager, you're responsible. Sorry. So they talked about, and here we go. Girly Pop, the cut here, Smoge. Nano had to drop me as a client because her work schedule is too hectic, which is, influenced all here. Redacted says, you wouldn't happen to be available for an MV in a week or two, would you? Sax says, I'm completely full every day this month and earliest I could do is November. Says, just checking, thank you. Sax says, no problem, 100% down for one after that date. Sorry to bother you, but do you know the exact release date? Since I could try working on something out to fit it in by the 22nd-ish. Hey, Red, thanks for waiting. So I've been trying to figure out if there's any way feasible I could slide Skinner in my schedule this month, but between moving in my new apartment and Halloween album, 7 MVs, I think November 9th is the earliest I can start. I'm very sorry. But if there's any projects after that date y'all would like me to do, I can lock in my calendar 100%. How long does it take for you to edit an MV? Says, depends on the length, usually a week or two. Says, how would you feel about giving me everything for an MV now, work on it between your other projects, and have it to me by the end of October? I really love to be able to squeeze y'all in if I absolutely could, but genuinely don't feel I have any more days free until November 9th. This month, the start of November, is literally an ass beating for my schedule. Okay, thanks. You're missing out on a good one. When is Cinder's coming out? It's when it's ready. TBH, I'll probably start in it a day or two after I wrap up with Bows and V's in that case. This song has a lot of typography. Is that something you're good with? Can I hear it? If not, no worries, just so I can get an idea. Was it EN or Japanese English? So when was it you're free again? Things have been pushed back by a lot. November 9th is my last MV for Bow until the first week of December. When is Cinder's coming out? When it's ready, lol. Okay, so blah, blah, blah. It says lots of animated text with different fonts, but yeah, that's fine. Is it just one still image we're using for art? No. I can send you more details in a week or two. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So now he's trying to push. So now he's saying, what if we paid you double? So trying to push the MV. Says, are you available? Sorry for getting you back to you so late. All good. I'm still 100% down. I would like to be able to start the first or second week of December for mid-December release, if that's okay. Says, we're hoping end of November release. That'd be impossible. We can send the invoice to wait whenever. We'll get it paid ASAP. Sax says, I come bearing gifts. I hope the girlies like it. So I think that's the file. So congratulating them for dragging this out. Or sorry, for getting this done. Let's see. Sax saying, yo, it's fine if I go forward. And if going forward, I don't get credited the video description, saying yes. Thank you. I'd rather just be an in-house type thing for Bao after this. So going in-house for Bao. And then talking again here, redacted, saying, I mean, like, if we wanted to have some sort of model exclusivity, what would you need to make it sustainable? Maybe you can share one of your ideas and I can check what I think. So I got some ideas for this. I was driving. What are you thinking? So I asked help from my friends. So a monthly fee. Also, how long would this be, and this counts for models I already worked on? Well, the main thing is we're looking for you not to take any brand new model clients and not make any model outfits with blank again. Okay, and let me read the rest of this. So you'll still be able to work on models and outfits with all your existing babies, and your art comms wouldn't be affected. One of our concerns is more nano babies means nano models don't have the same value. And the second is there's few people that we would just rather not have a model from you. Maybe not any new babies at all. The reason why I brought this up is that there's been a lot of bias with another one of the partners with certain creators. And we'd rather these creators not have what Sinder makes unique, which is your artwork. Okay, this is actually going to piss people off. And this actually may make people think I'm siding with Redacted. But listen, hear me out here. What they're trying to do in a very clumsy way is negotiate an exclusivity contract. It's not illegal to have an exclusivity contract. So it isn't illegal for them to say, hey, I want you to be my exclusive artist. That is not illegal at all to do that. However, it looks really bad. The optics of it don't look good. And obviously it's going to piss people off. Right? So there's legally, though, it is not a crime to try to negotiate exclusivity. And by the way, they're not entirely wrong about that. Exclusivity does allow for a greater value of work. If the artist is good and they're your artist, then yeah, you have the fucking baller artist. You're the only one with them. So just to understand, I'm not nagging on them for that. It's about the way they did it that feels scummy, and that I can definitely agree with, but my evil lawyer arc says here, exclusivity is not necessarily illegal. So once we have to separate morality from illegality, and especially when I'm speaking, I need to be clear, and I need to be fair, because I try to be very fair. But at this point, now we're going to go further, but at this point, there hasn't been anything illegal about negotiating this contract. Now, I did say previously there was an issue with terminating Bao, right? And that was definitely some interference. Once again, whether or not they be held guilty of that, that's up to a court. A court might say, one way or another. A court or a judge might say one thing or another. But so far, nothing. But let's continue. We've got more. Nano says, OFC, I just want to understand it better, specifically if I cancel her for the second time. So canceling is a bit dicey. Well, with Blank, she's been given a lot of bias and priorities at gamer subs, sometimes over Sinder. We can't really confront them about it, and plus she's gone 3D. Bao has been getting on our nerves for a while. She hijacked our YouTube editor a while ago and is constantly picking up artists that we work with. We've gotten to know her better being friends with her, but she rubs us the wrong way with the things she does. We wanted to try to safeguard our most important artist since she's already taken our editor. And I don't mean taken like he doesn't work with us anymore. He does. But he has to dedicate time for her now, and sometimes that gets in the way of our projects. One of Bao's MV editors is the one that did the Boss MV Rush, and we're 99% sure she told him not to do any more with us. But like model art is the most important thing, that's the entire VTuber. Okay. All this Bao talk was completely unnecessary to sign an exclusivity contract. You don't need to explain any of that. All that did was open them up more. They just needed to say, we want an exclusivity contract and don't talk about it. Your personal feelings or drama or whatever else was not really necessary to sign an exclusivity contract. But, and to say hijack and use some of that language, like you're accusing her of theft, of a YouTube editor, and You know, picking up artists we work with, that's called the artists that you work with getting popular. That means they're good. Bao had original songs last year that had MVs by her editor. The songs flopped. Her editor met us at TwitchCon and saying that he would love to work with us, practically jumping through hoops to get something planned. We managed to have him squeeze in Boss Rush MV between his work with Bao. He says he loved working on it and is super excited to work on the next MV project. Boss Rush song blows up. He's credited as the editor. I ask him when he's free to do the next project. All of a sudden he changed his mind. Is only working with Bao going forward. No explanation. There's some context missing since we know how Bao is behind the scenes. But basically, we don't have an MV editor for now for our next Boss Rush project. I think Bao got pissed that her editor did an original MV song for her friends without her knowing and did it 100x better than her original songs last year. And she locked him up so no one else could work with him. And then had him make it public on Twitter that he was only working with her going forward, like a literal announcement tweet. Oh shit, yeah, that's super weird. So then they post sack. Anonymously in-house, as in will never be credited publicly so no one knows who they work for Bao. Oh, that's literally it. And it reads like a hostage note. I asked to be anonymous since I wanted to separate from being known as a freelancer. No one does this. No one decides to do this on their own. This was 2 weeks after Boss Rush came out. Yeah, it's pretty weird. And now she's been barking up the tree of one of our L2D animators, so like you and a nano model. Yeah, looking for me sounds sus. It's annoying. She has a way of guilt-tripping people to get her way. What about we can pay X for you? You don't have to discount it for the next payment. We'll continue to give you lots of model work. You don't work with these people again. I think these people were definitely Bao and a couple others. I've seen the unredacted version. One of them is definitely Bao. I think one of them's definitely, I think it's Spite, Bao, and one more. I've seen this one uncovered. But anyways, I don't think you've ever done anything with blank blank before. We also have a GS label for you, the FK. Silver. Is Silver Veil or Shy Lily? Was it Lily or Veil? I think it's maybe, oh, Cotton. Oh no, Cotton. Cotton's on there too. Cotton's on there too. Is there any way to add a little bit more since blank still asks for art and every now and then? We could do it like when blank asks for art, you tell her no and tell us to buy another art piece, like you still get a job from it. So they are trying to work it out. Sinder, just want to say sorry for stepping back on exclusivity. Wanted to apologize personally to you since I've only talked about it with Red, but I just don't want to get dragged into personal issues like that. After all, blank is still a client. It makes me anxious. It kind of destroys my mental to do this kind of deal. Just want to let you know I still love working with you and Red, but I understand if things don't work out because blank. Still love my clients, it's all. I get it, Nano. It's pretty unfair to push it on you, but it's really confusing going back and forth. I just get compared to her a lot, even still today, and it's like I'm always living in someone's shadow, which is one reason why Red asked about not making any models for her. And when you said, I understand if things don't work out, it makes me feel like you're okay with not working with me anymore, which hurts me after all this time. That's kind of some gaslighting right there. I really appreciate you, Nano, and it's your decision who you ultimately work with, but this is how I've been feeling. I don't really see any point of keep thinking about being compared to blank. You're so much bigger and you've already done much more, but I would never give blank any priority. Also, there's not even any model we're being discussed. I just want to sleep clear-minded. I'm also fine at doing our models, but at least GamerSup's art would still be fine with me. I don't want to be 100% an assholer, that's all. It's not me, but other people's opinions of us, and I'm just trying not to get involved in any drama that other people want to talk comparing us. But I understand where you're coming from. There's no hard feelings. And saying, sorry, my mental is weak. Same girl. I'm sorry for bringing you into this. I want you to get that money. The whole situation is kind of sucky. I just want to get along. I understand things don't work out about this, mostly if you hate me for not burning blank down from my list. I would never hate you. Thank you. I'm just an insecure bitch. I love everything we've done together and I want to keep more. People just saying dumb shit online makes me stressed. Okay, so let's finish this out. We got 2 more pages. People saying she's been acting weird towards Sinder. Don't know what's going on. Oh, weird. Ever since V-Card launched, what do you consider weird? Lately dipping out of collabs they're both part of and ghosting her. Cinder's raided her a couple times and Lily won't acknowledge Sinder by name. So Shy Lily mentioned just weird petty stuff. That's weird since they both say that share the same store. Around V-Card's launch, they were talking and collabing. I don't know what happened. But her asking for you for a model after that was just weird. Even though she said she doesn't plan on getting a new model anytime soon. I don't know. I hate that we keep bringing you into drama. Yeah, I thought it was quite early to go for a new model. Look a bit menacing, so I don't talk to her. Feels like we're going to have to compete with Lily if she's ghosting Sinder and wants the same model. What do you mean compete? I think compete is really weird. So Redacted going, is Is it just Cinder and Blank you've been doing continuous model outfits for? We have a daemon update list plus arcade reference for you soon as it's finished. I think it is. I have an outfit for Blank planned. As for Blank, got nothing new, but she always comes up with something. Do you know who's rigging Lily? Gonna be Blank. Thanks, Nano. Sorry for the questions. Gonna stay informed, especially when it comes to our top artists. Never take a break. Saying, I'm going to go bald now. I'll keep you in the loop. Anything going on? Also that, the balding? No, you fool. Just stupid drama. Got to stay competitive even when we shouldn't have to. Your PFP looks like a guy with a mustache. Don't go too far in competitiveness. It can get bad. Got to chill. Hey, it's not us. What do you mean? It is you. You control you. But anyways, we aren't the ones getting a model from the artist that the other GS owner out of the blue and ghosting them and refusing to acknowledge them. So I think that's mentioning Lily there at the end. So that's what we got. What do we got from the claims? Okay. Well, honestly, the one that was clearest to me based on the evidence was Bao. Because there was a existing contract, there was a breach, there was clearly a damage there. So actually Bao from a legal standpoint had the clearest breach. There's some stuff that happened out there that some people could say might be defamation, but the problem with defamation is they didn't put this information out there publicly themselves. They didn't intend to publicize this. This was something that was leaked, right? So I think the liability, once again, Cinder and Redacted, anything that Redacted is responsible for can go on Cinder, 100% here.